This is very different from the first, and I like it. Aliens is directed by James Cameron and stars Sigourney Weaver, Bill Paxton, Michael Biehn, Lance Henriksen, and Paul Reiser. Now let's get this out of the way. James Cameron is a great director. I love this movie, and I love Terminator. I've only seen the first one, but apparently Judgment Day is just as good. But I can't with Titanic and Avatar. Abyss is also pretty good. I enjoyed Abyss, but Titanic and Avatar, I can't. I don't like those movies. But he is a great director. Just because I don't like every single movie a director makes. Just because you love the director doesn't mean you have to love all the works. I love people like Spielberg, but he doesn't have 100% success rate. There are movies of his that I don't like. I like James Cameron. I think he's a great director. There are movies of his that I don't like. I like Avatar a little bit better than Titanic, simply on an effects standpoint, while Titanic also is a very visually well done movie with the ship sinking sequence. I definitely enjoyed myself in Avatar more than I did with Titanic. But with that out of the way, let's get into the actual review. This is not like the first. Like I said, the first is just a straight up horror film. It's all through and through, beginning to end. It's a horror movie, and that's what Ridley Scott set out to do, and that's what he did. He made a horror movie. And this one is a straight up action movie, through and through. I guess there are some elements that kind of take it back to the first one. It's like, okay, that's a little reminiscent of the first one, like a little action-y. Like a little, horror-y. But this is mainly just it's an action film. It's just action sequences. And it is awesome. This movie's iconic with so many memorable lines and moments. It's actually not just memorable lines. It's one of the lines in these movies are some of the most famous in film history. Everyone, from kids to adults, knows the knife trick scene. Even if they don't know what it's from, they know that scene. In 7th grade, before I saw this movie, before I even knew about that scene in the movie, kids were doing that little knife trick thing with pencils. So people know. They know this movie. They know things from this movie, even if they've never seen it. That's how memorable and iconic it is. This is the first time I watched this movie, and I loved every minute of it. The action is really well done. This movie is fantastic shot, and the practical effects are once again just phenomenal. The xenomorphs are great. That's right, I said xenomorphs because this movie is plural. Because, you think one xenomorph is bad enough for a group of astronauts. Oh, there's a whole bunch of them. There's a lot of xenomorphs overtaking a colony. They're like, I'll just shoot them all. No, they have acidic blood. And that was established in the first movie. They're in for a real treat. Our main characters. They're gonna have a whale of a time. And just that premise alone of like, we're going back to where the first movie was, but this time we're bringing Marines because there's more than one xenomorph. That premise is just enough to make me excited. Like, when I read the description of this movie, of what this movie was about before I saw it, it sold me immediately. Right when I heard the Marines fighting xenomorphs, I was like, I'm ready. I'm gonna watch this movie. This movie sounds amazing. I love it. I want it. I need this movie in my life. And just not only that, but there's a lot of the Marines and just a bunch of characters on the ship are very memorable and very likable. there's even ones that you think you might not like the android. You're like, we had an experience with an android in the last movie, and no, he turns out to be one of the best characters. And from Weyland-Yutani executive, who's like that starts off being all nice. No, he turns out, well, he's not nice. He's from Weyland-Yutani, so no one's nice. They all suck. The acting is once again great, which is a thing about the first movie. The acting was great, and the acting continues to be great. Sigourney Weaver is bringing her all, as usual. There's a kid in the movie, Newt, and she's also pretty good. There are a couple lines where it's like, I'm not a fan of that on her part, but there's nothing wrong with the way she delivered it. I think Newt was a great addition to the movie. She brought a great sort of relationship with Ripley, and it caused some great character arcs. I loved it. The chemistry between all the characters is actually better than the first, because while there is some chemistry between some characters in the first one, that's mainly an isolated movie. You want to feel alone. This one, it's an action movie, so you can have the characters be together, build off each other. That's what this movie does very well. It builds off each other. The characters are playing off of each other with their dialogue. They're having fun. Stay frosty, all that stuff. And it's just making you love a lot of these characters more. The relationships they build, and because of these relationships, it makes you afraid that some of these people could die at any moment, and a lot of them do. It's just all very compelling, the dynamic between just the Marines alone. A lot of them are there for cannon fodder, but you remember a lot of their names. Because they all pretty much have names, and you remember them. And that's hard work for an 80s action movie to do. To make you care about a group of Marines and remember all their names, even though most of them are going to die. Even Predator has sort of that problem with me. I'm going to have to rewatch Predator. Maybe I'll remember more of the characters, but I can't remember all the military members in Predator. I can't. I'm sorry. But all in all, I had so much fun watching this movie. You probably will too. It's 2.5 hours, so it does get pretty slow at times. That's my only complaint, is that at some moments in the movie it's pretty slow, and not the slow burn type from the first movie, because that was under 2 hours. When you're in an action movie and it gets slow and you're 2.5 hours, it starts to make you be like, man, you could shorten this runtime, it's a bit long. But for the most part, everything about this movie is great, except for that beefy runtime. But at least the characters are great, and I'm still having fun. And I really didn't even think about the runtime, how long it was, until after I saw the movie, and then I realized, oh, I guess that was a little long. The movie, you're too long when you're in the middle of the movie, and you're like, oh, you're still going. Okay. But this movie did not have me do that, so I didn't really see it as that big of a flaw. Well, like I said, I had so much fun watching this movie. If you watch it, you will too. You'll probably be quoting this movie a lot. I'm gonna be quoting it a lot. I know that for a fact. So I'm going to give Aliens a 100 Xenomorphs out of 100. This movie is amazing. Watch the first one and this, and you will thank me. These two are the perfect duologies. From what I heard, stop at those two. Don't watch the rest. But I've yet to see Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, Prometheus, and Alien Covenant, or any of the AVP movies. So who knows? Maybe there might be a hidden gem in one of those. I know Prometheus and Alien Covenant are actually pretty split down on audience and fans and critics and all that. Pretty divisive on those parts. So I guess I'll find out when I review those movies, won't I? Have you seen Aliens? If you have, tell me what you thought of this movie down below. Do you love it as much as I do? Make sure to like and subscribe. And this is Jordan from Jordan Reviews, signing off.